Welcome to the Perdays channel. Today we explain Prophets Isaiah chapter 21 in a clear and simple way, step by step. Okay, let's dive right into this truly fascinating text. We're going to look directly at the literal words of the prophet, exploring a dramatic sequence of events that unfolds with sudden, incredible intensity. This isn't just ancient history. It's a vivid, moment-by-moment account of a world in sudden transition, all seen through the eyes of a watchman standing guard in the dead of night.
Here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, the context of the vision, followed by the fall of Babylon and the burden of Duma. Then, we'll extract some simple key ideas, transition into practical life lessons, and finish up with a chapter 21 recap. We aren't going to skip ahead or lose our place. We're walking through this logically and carefully, verse by verse.
Section 1. Context of the vision. Let's establish exactly where we are on the text as we join the prophet mid-vision.
We're reading the prophecies concerning the nations, and we are jumping right into a high-stakes scenario. Right before our main focus, we are introduced to a watchman. Now, the text explicitly tells us about his grueling schedule. He stands continually upon the watchtower in the daytime, and he set at his post all throughout the nights. Imagine the sheer physical exhaustion and the heavy psychological toll of that kind of responsibility. In the ancient world, there was no internet, no telegraphs, no radar systems. News traveled literally only as fast as a horse could run. So this watchman, standing guard in the dark night and staring out at the horizon, is the absolute sole lifeline for an entire city. He is waiting for a crucial military report that will completely dictate the future of the region. He's carrying the weight of his people's survival entirely on his shoulders.
Section 2, the fall of Babylon. We begin our step-by-step walkthrough in verse 8, right as the watchman at his post spots something on the horizon.
Out of the darkness, the long, agonizing wait is finally over. The watchman finally sees them, an approaching troop of paired horsemen. Notice that specific detail, horsemen by pairs. This implies a very structured, deliberate military messenger unit. And when they arrive, they deliver this earth-shattering news. Fallen, fallen is Babylon. The repetition of the word fallen really emphasizes the absolute certainty and the shocking nature of this event. You have to remember, in the ancient world, Babylon wasn't just a big city. It was the ultimate unshakable superpower. It was the empire that dominated the globe and seemed completely invincible. To hear that it had collapsed, unthinkable. But it was true. Babylon, the great power, is no more. And the verse actually continues by describing the physical destruction of Babylon's belief system. The messengers don't just say the government fell or the walls were breached. They specifically note that the idols are broken unto the ground. So the collapse is total. We're talking political, military, and spiritual ruin.
Let's define this clearly for our literal reading. In simple English, graven images are carved physical idols, typically made of wood, stone, or metal, that the Babylonians worshipped as literal gods. This verse means that not only was the city completely defeated, but the false physical idols they relied upon for protection were totally crushed to the dust. The things they trusted the most were proven entirely powerless in the face of this historical shift. And even today, this imagery resonates so deeply. It represents the sudden shattering of whatever false securities or supposedly unshakable foundations a society builds its confidence on when reality finally sets in.
Now we move to verse 10, and the tone takes a really dramatic shift. The prophet pauses this grand narrative of falling empires and rushing messengers, and he speaks directly, almost intimately, to his own people, Israel. He is sharing a deeply painful but necessary process ordered by God, gently calling them my threshing and the winnowing of my floor. Let's break down what this powerful, vivid imagery actually means for a hurting people. Threshing and winnowing are ancient agricultural steps used to beat harvested wheat and blow away the useless chaff. Threshing is actually a profoundly violent process. It involves laying the wheat on a hard floor and dragging heavy wooden sledges over it to completely crush and beat the stalks. Winnowing then involves scooping up that crushed mixture and throwing it up into the harsh wind so the light, useless material just blows away entirely, leaving only the solid, nourishing grain behind. The prophet is using this simple, everyday farming picture to explain that Israel is being crushed and shaken by these massive historical events, like the sudden fall of Babylon, to separate the good from the bad. It's a terrifying, violent process of purification through historical hardship.
Section 3. The burden of Duma. Immediately after the news of Babylon, verse 11 abruptly shifts to a new message. The burden of Duma. A burden in this context just means a heavy, weighty prophetic message. And then the text tells us, "One calleth unto me out of Seir." Someone from the geographic region of Seir, which is associated with Edom, is calling out into the darkness. They have a pressing, urgent question for the prophet, who is acting as the watchman here. This detail is so crucial because it shows us that the geopolitical earthquake of Babylon's fall is radiating outward. Fear and uncertainty are spreading across borders, and neighboring regions are absolutely terrified about what is coming next. And this is what they call out. Listen to the intense desperation in this repetition. Watchman, what of the night? Watchman, what of the night? This desperate, repeated question from Seir is basically asking the watchman how much longer this dark, difficult time of suffering is going to last. They are completely enveloped in the darkness of geopolitical turmoil. Empires are falling overnight, armies are marching in the shadows, and they're looking to the watchman to tell them if morning, if any kind of relief or stability is anywhere in sight. Section 4. Simple Key Ideas. Let's gather the simple, literal themes from the verses we just explored. So, what are the core pillars of this chapter's message so far? Well, the plain text shows us 4 distinct realities. First, worldly powers, no matter how immense or invincible they seem like Babylon, inevitably fall. Second, false systems and physical idols shatter into dust when they are truly tested. Third, people undergo painful threshing, which is that historical and personal shaking that acts to brutally separate the essential from the useless. And finally, in times of blinding darkness and confusion, people naturally seek reassurance and truth from a dedicated watchman. Section 5. Practical Life Lessons. Moving beyond the history, what can we learn from this to improve ourselves today? How do we take the text of chapter 21 and apply its plain meaning right now? We learn some incredibly grounding lessons here. First off, do not place your absolute trust in earthly idols or supposedly invincible empires or institutions, because they will eventually fall and shatter. Second, when you face severe hard times, try to view it as your own personal threshing floor. Whether it's a major personal hardship or watching your plans fall apart, it's a difficult period meant to refine your character. It violently blows away the useless habits or false beliefs in your life, leaving only what is strong and true. Third, whatever your responsibilities are, stay alert at your post with the unwavering dedication of that watchman standing day and night. And finally, when things seem the absolute darkest, don't give up. Keep asking questions, keep seeking the truth, just like that voice from Seir in the dead of night. Section 6, Chapter 21, Recap. To wrap up this explainer, let's review the exact chronological sequence of the verses we covered. Let's lock in our understanding of how this all builds together. We started with the dedicated watchman waiting at his post through the long, agonizing night. Then, paired horsemen suddenly arrived to break the silence. They rapidly declare the absolute fall of Babylon and its idols. The prophet then intimately explains that this massive turmoil is actually a threshing of the people to refine them. And immediately after, a terrified voice from Seir urgently calls out, asking how long the dark night will last. From the arrival of the horsemen signaling Babylon's doom to the anxious calls from Seir, the text paints a fast-paced, vivid picture of a world in a state of sudden, dramatic transition. As you reflect on this chapter, ask yourself, what is the night you are currently waiting out? And are you standing faithfully at your watchtower until the morning comes? Thank you for learning with us. If this helped you understand the chapter better, like, subscribe, and join us for the next chapter.